Welcome back everyone to my channel. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. This week I am deciding to work on a 4-color circular pattern swipe with some Australian Floetrol to see how this one shakes out. Okay, and jumping into this one with some color. The first was the red violet, which is really pretty. And my favorite blue, manganese blue phthalo. Who doesn't like saying that word 4 times fast? Manganese blue phthalo. And thirdly is my pewter. Now, pewter is a brand new color to me. It is much like silver, but a bit more dulled down with a bit of gold in it, if I recall right. And just lastly, my oxide black as my spill off color to help these paints tilt once my swipes are done. Now in this pour, I wanted to do things a bit differently than normal. So in typical Tony fashion, I will simply swipe left to right, up or down with a base coat of black oxide or any kind of base which works for a swipe. Now I wanted to make the colors my base with as bright of color combo as I could get with my violet, my blue, and my pewter, keeping the black as a secondary color for, again, spillage off the sides and a bit in the middle to add a bit of contrast for the center. Now we're going to see how this shakes out because this pewter did a bit more than I was hoping for, but let's check out the rest. Now watching this video back, I'm not disappointed. I am more, we'll go with learning lesson opportunities. So I learned a lesson in that I really should have gone with my black on the outsides first and then brought my color into the middle on top of that black, because the black creates an awful lot of dark color once we get into my swipes. So ultimately, again, this is more of a color for me to help those colors slide off the sides, and I wanted a bit in the middle to create a bit of a disruption between the color and also the black in the center. So again, on the outside was fine, but as I got to the middle with my black, I think I made a bit of a mistake in terms of adding too much dark into the middle, which defeated the purpose of my idea for this pour. Okay, and don't ever forget to torch your bubbles. Oh my goodness, in metallics, this pewter gave me like a zillion little bubbles and air bubbles, although I mixed it the night prior. So if you can, grab a butane torch, any kind of heat source like a heat gun will pop those bubbles just fine, but try to make sure to do it before you get to swiping, because it may leave 1,000 pinholes, which you want to avoid. Now, getting into my swipes here, again, I am trying to go for a lot of color, which off this swipe and is really, really pretty. By the way, the Australians did it right with this Floetrol. I love you guys. It may not be you specifically, but ultimately this Floetrol works great for cells and lacing. Now, as you can see, there's quite a bit of dark initially, and going across the painting, I thought there was a lot of black that kind of spilled through that painting, more so than I hoped. But as I look at this now, I am recognizing I actually went through too much black on top of that color, which again defeated my idea off the hop from what I wanted to do, but was creating some cool little effects along the way as well. Okay, now as I go in for my third swipe across the canvas, I thought this was my prettiest swipe of all of them. It left the best trail of nice lacing and cells across the canvas. Out of all 4, you'll see in a sec here, but I thought this one worked the best. Again, out of all 4, and again, you can see the really cool lacing and effects there from that Floetrol. Now I wanted to just get some more color going through the middle. I didn't want to have too much of a bit of a blob there, so I wanted to not go quite as big. I was happy with how much lacing and cells I had with my longer swipes, and wanted to just again disrupt the middle for the sake of getting that color to move around a bit. Okay, now as we wrap up the swipes, I wanted to quickly do a bit of a shout out to a good pouring friend in the universe, Kayleen Simmons, I believe out in Australia, who is so incredibly supportive of me. I believe you may know her by Bubbles as well on Facebook and YouTube, so check her out. She and I believe Darren is her husband now. Please correct me if I'm wrong. So anyway, Kayleen, thank you for your support in the past 2 years. You're always around. You made a comment just now on my Facebook for my most recent post. Thank you for that. And no, anyway, thank you for sticking in there with me and always being supportive. So if I can say one thing about that is that the paint pouring community is very, very supportive of one another. Keep that up. That keeps people like me who may be in a funk sometimes going, and those who are beginning to keep going as well. So anyway, always support your people and your artists out there who may not want to keep going, because really this is a ton of fun, and I think that we enjoy it too much to just let it go. So that is my kudos for the week for Kayleen. Okay, and getting back into this pour here with my tilt. So I've gone ahead and done 2 of the corners so far, and I'm really doing my best to center out my paints into the middle before stretching for a second time. So really the first swipe was to get things going. There was just enough paint on this canvas to get all 4 corners off without disturbing or stretching my lacing too far out. So this was a bit slow going in the end because I was a bit short on paint. Maybe not short, I was exactly right on paint. It just took an hour to get those corners to cooperate. Now, one thing I think I have learned from watching this back is that in my idea of wanting color, I may do a ring pour with my violet, my phthalo blue, and of course the pewter with a black in the middle or white in the middle to break it up, and then swipe on top of that, which may look really, really pretty. So again, week to week, you could always learn something brand new, and this week that was my opportunity. So getting into my final corner, the colors and lacing have really stretched out quite well, and I'm quite happy with how the middle shook out. But in addition, the colors, I think, give this darker painting, what should have been bright in the first place, a nice complementary look to the pour in general. So I'm quite happy with how this one turned out as I speed up here about 500 times speed to get things going. And leading into this final tilt, just recentering my colors to the middle before I set it down for its last placement. Okay, and going in for a bit of a wet look overhead with that really cool color that turned out better than I had thought based on the fact it was very black initially. So you know what, when you have to try something new, just give it a shot all the way, why not? Again, I love this color combination in terms of what its possibilities are going forward, and the lacing and cell effects on this painting were quite nice. Like that little pocket there where the color stretches through, really beautiful. I love it. These corners are very cool as well. Now, I love your thoughts too on how this pour went, so please drop me a comment down below. And if you have enjoyed this video, click that thumbs up button below as well. And if you're not subscribed yet, please feel free to do so. And we will catch you again in the next one.